Hi, good morning, guys. Just going to go through a quick setup for a Google Sheets document for your final project and a work log, as well as a materials list. So if you go to your Google home screen like I'm on here and you go up to the waffle, you're going to select Sheets. You get the nice dashboard here. You won't have all these files down below like I do. If you've done anything in Sheets, it will be listed down here below though. So I'm going to go here to blank. And what's going to show up is a spreadsheet. Looks kind of like a docs, but it has all these lines with columns and rows. All right, they're each individually called cells. Okay, so if I click in this cell right here, you'll notice the A and the 2 come up. That is cell A2. It also names it up here. Click over here, I'm in F11. It's kind of like a battleship. So basically what I want to do is set up a simple work log here for my final project, whatever I decide to do. Down here, you'll notice there's a tab. Up here in the top left, you'll notice there's another place where we can name things. So why don't we rename our file, first of all, as work log. And we'll just put final project. Down here below where it says sheet 1, you can go to the drop down menu and rename it, or you can double click on it and we will call that work log. The other thing I can do is I can add a tab on the bottom or an extra sheet here, which we're going to need for our materials. So right here on the plus sign, I'm going to add a sheet. You'll notice sheet 2 appears. I'm going to double click on that and call that materials. So now I have 2 sheets that are ready to be formatted. All right, so back on the work log, it's going to be pretty simple. We're going to have 2 things going on here. We're going to have the date. So I'm putting that in cell A1. And in cell B1, I'm going to put the task. Once you guys get going with your work, you'll actually be filling in the task section for each day that you work. All right, a couple little quick things on a spreadsheet here. If I go in between the B and C here, my columns, I can actually make column B much wider, which I'm going to want to do. So I'm going to be typing in here whatever task it is that I did for the day. I'm also going to have my dates written in here, okay? So today's date, we're going to start with on the work log would be 01/04/2022. Now what's neat about the spreadsheet is it actually recognizes this as a date. So if I click on that box, and I'll zoom in a little bit for you guys here, you'll notice there's a little blue square in the bottom right corner. If I click on that and drag down, it will actually insert the upcoming days of the week and upcoming dates. Now we're going to want to do this down to our last day this semester is the 28th. We'll be finishing up a little before that. So why don't we go to let's just go to the 25th. Right, so if I zoom back out here, you can see that I put in all of my dates from tomorrow to 1/25. Now the other thing I'm going to want to do with this, make this a little bit bigger again for you guys, is I'm going to want to put some borders in. And you'll notice there's a lot of options here on our spreadsheet toolbar. And we're not going to get too involved in that today, but we will highlight from cell A1 down to B23, just like we normally would in any application with a click and drag. I'm going to go up here to the borders, and you can have fun here. You can change the color of the borders if you want. You can change the design. You can make it thicker, thinner, dotted lines and double lines here. So and you feel free to play around with that. I'll just do a nice blue here, and I'll just do the grid. Very basic. I'm going to center up my date. So I'm going to click on the A up above here, and you'll notice it highlights the entire column. And I'm going to go back up here to my toolbar to the horizontal align, and I'm just going to center all of my dates as well as the title. The tasks I'm going to leave alone because I'll be working left to right on that. Now another thing you can do with your spreadsheet is you can obviously make your cells bigger or smaller. These are a little thin for me. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to highlight all of them. So if I want to highlight everything in the spreadsheet very quickly, I can just come up here above the 1 and to the left of the A, and it highlights everything. And I'm just going to go in between a couple of the numbers here. You'll notice that the icons change to the up and down arrow. And I'm just going to make my rows a little bit wider. So I've got a little bit more room. So I will be eventually typing in these cells, writing down whatever task I did for that particular day. Some days it's going to be pretty extensive in here with what you write. So what we can do is we can do a wraparound feature. I'm just going to put some text in here to see. So right now you'll notice that it goes past the line here. So our format here is for overflow, and it will overflow into these other cells. As you can see, that doesn't really look great. I want to just keep it in cell B2. I can do something that's called a wrap text. So up here on my toolbar again, I'm going to make sure I'm in that cell. I can come over here past the borders and the alignments and go right here to text wrapping. And if I select that middle option, it will wrap the text, and it keeps everything right inside there. So what I recommend to you is just click on the B. I'll highlight all of the column and then just wrap text. So that way later on, if you're typing, it'll stay right in there for you. And again, if you have a lot of extra writing, you can always make the column a little bit taller, or the row a little bit taller if needed. Again, if you want to go in and change colors, boldface, that type of thing, that's entirely up to you. Okay, under the materials, again, depending on what you end up doing for your invention, we're going to need to know the quantity. We're going to need to know what the item is, or item or materials. In a lot of cases, you are going to provide it. So we can put I have, I will purchase, or Mr. Karen provides. And again, I can do a little text wrap on that so it's not overlapping. Again, if I want to center all this stuff, I can do. There's a lot of formatting things that you can do here. Put my grid in. And I can keep it as basic or as fancy as I want. Doesn't really matter. I don't even know if I'll need that many materials yet, but I'll set it up for that. And then I can go in and say, I need 2 2x4s, 3 feet long. I know I've got those out in my shed, so I'll just check that off so I know I've got that. Again, you don't have to fill this in right away. You'll do this once you figure out what you're doing for your invention. But you know, if it's something that Mr. Karen's got to provide, I need 10,000 marbles, and we'll have Mr. Karen pick those up for me. That's not happening, just so you know, but just as an example, okay? Or maybe you're going to get, you know, if you need some markers, and you're just going to pick those up at the store because you're going to use them for other stuff anyway. Okay, so I have a general supply list here for your invention if you decide to do the invention project for your final project, right? But that's pretty much all we need for our spreadsheet. Again, make it as fancy as you want, okay? But it will be something that you're going to need to fill in as you are working through the project. All right, hope you have a great day. See you soon.